Okay, perfect. I just wanted the ads to clear first. I am warming up dinner really quick, just so that it's ready to go once the rice is finished, because I's hungry. So, hi everybody. We're gonna get started in a minute. Thanks, Sasha. Appreciate it. Thank you for the 5-month sub. Deeply appreciate it. Let me. Alrighty. So, while that's going, I know that y'all can't see my face. Yes, now. So yeah, happy Sunday. I hope the day was restful and or productive for y'all. I'm doing okay. Managed to get some cleaning done, and that was important. Thank you for the reminder, Shark. You did bank that. I got some cleaning done. I literally just finished making. I just finished making. What's the word I'm looking for? Word is going to come to me. It will come to me eventually. I just finished making corned beef. Rice is in the rice cooker right now, which is why I went to go share out food and then put it in the microwave, not to warm it up yet, but once the rice is done, warm it up so I can share it out. So I can share it out with the rice at around the same time, and we have dinner while I go from there. Today's stream is probably going to be a little shorter, only for two reasons. One is that I want to fit in like the Totsugeki 64 stuff in between, but two is also because I don't anticipate that we're going to need a full 4 hours to play the game. I am like the last spot I made a save in is literally the room right above like the last rooms of the game. We're literally on the front step of the end. So I intend to try to beat it legit without having to like engage Billy Mitchell mode, but if I have to do that in order to get the clear, I will. Also, hi Kettle, hi Moyo. So we will ideally not have to do that. Ideally, I will not have to engage Billy Mitchell mode in order to get it clear, but there is the possibility exists because I may be just under leveled enough that it's not practical, and I may have no choice. I will at least try to clear it legit at least once, but if it looks like that's not the case, then we're gonna engage cheats. I'll be upfront about it because the clear to me is more important. So, you know, keeping it real. Oh, right, important things. So, good news. While I wasn't looking, somebody threw in another hand, and we have managed to make it over the first. We made it over the first milestone for the rent and support drive that I'm doing for me. Long and short of it, for people who haven't been here before, or don't know what's going on, or haven't been here for a while, or haven't been here either for a while or for a long time, I've been looking for a job since like end of last year, June. Still haven't gotten one because the job market is kind of fucked. So I'm not in danger of like homelessness or anything. I'm not in any immediate sense, but I do. Basically speaking, I'm doing the rent and support drive mostly because a couple of people that were close to me kind of prevailed on me to be like, ask for the things that you need, and this is the thing that you need help with, so ask. So even if we don't make the goal, it makes it. If we get close, if we get it, it just means that I have enough runway to basically cover next month's rent without having to dip into my retirement fund stuff and other contingencies that I have kind of backed up. And so right now we are at about 12% of the goal overall, which means that we have made the first milestone, which means that at some point I'm playing Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne HD for y'all. That's gonna happen. I'm gonna cry a lot because SMT Nocturne is not a forgiving game on its best day. So that will be fun. It'll be my first time playing an SMT game for the channel, which should be really cool, and that should be really interesting. But we still have other milestones ahead of us. If we make $400, that's me booting back up my old Pokemon Crystal save and going through Kanto and all the gym leaders there. $600 means that I have to then prepare to beat Red Pokemon Crystal. If I make 1,000, that's Monster Rancher 1 DX stream at some point, and then 1,500 Metroid Dread. Those are all the milestones. If you want individual incentives like eyeballs or the other stuff, if you do exclamation point incentives, you get those. If you want to finish the SMT game I played back in the day, yeah. I have played a little bit of Nocturne before and a little bit of Digital Devil Saga, but not enough to have finished either of those games. Basically, for those of you that are familiar with Persona, the SMT games basically spun off of Persona, and they share to a certain degree. There's still some design philosophy stuff that they share, but Persona lately has become more all-inclusive toward the idea of like visual novel aspects and things like that on top of the RPG combat, whereas SMT has chosen to stay a little bit thinner on the plot to a certain degree. Not necessarily that there's no plot, but that it sort of focuses less on the individual cast members we're dealing with and more about like the philosophical nature of the world that you are in. The flavors are a little different, is basically the best way I can put it. Right, DDS. It's quite hard, but still fun. At least I found it fun. Yeah, like DDS is a pretty good duology. May play them on stream at some point in the future. I would like to do that, but stream backlog and stream backlog. I spent 30, so I'm gonna have to get up to go. Turn off to go cut the rice cooker timer like a minute and 30 seconds or so, but then warm up the chicken I made the other night. So here's the plan for today. In no particular order, here's the plan. In a particular order, here's the plan. We're going to finish Breath of Fire 3. Hi, alls. We're going to finish Breath of Fire 3. We'll talk a little shop about it. I boot up Totsugeki 64, and then we end stream probably about a little bit before 8:30 my time. So we're going to be going basically for 2.5 hours, give or take. Just because there's a thing that's happening at 8:30 my time that I want to try to actually I want to try to get in on. And I know, and I wouldn't even consider cutting stream that early if it wasn't for the fact that I know it's not going to take 2.5 hours to beat Breath of Fire. Even in the worst case scenario, it's not taking 2.5 hours, right? It's not happening. But yeah, hopefully you're well. Hopefully you're well, Alice. It's good to see you. But yeah, let's be about it, shall we? Let me just make sure that I didn't. Okay, yeah, that should be fine then. Okay. And then the rice cooker literally just finished. Okay, yes. So I'm gonna warm up the dinner that I put into the microwave, share out the rice on top of it, pour me something to drink, and then we're gonna get into it. Because literally, I'm above the, like I said earlier, I'm above literally the last set of rooms in Breath of Fire 3. So, my plan was maybe like mess around a little bit and go pick up a couple things before we were done, but nah, we're just gonna knock it out. We'll knock it out, debrief a little bit about Breath of Fire 3, play some Super Totogeki 64, and be chill. Alright, I forgot to switch timers. Oh well. Nightbot will just give us that one for free. Alright, so I'm gonna go let this boot up and we're gonna get into it because it should still take a minute for the microwave to finish. So yeah, last time on Breath of Fire 3, we got up to some shenanigans in the lab. Oh, I gotta adjust this up a little bit. Hey, Kat, what's up? How you doing? So yeah, last time on Breath of Fire 3, I nearly died to a dodo. That was the thing that happened. Also, we finally found Tipo. It turns out that this whole time It turns out that this whole time Tipo was actually like, alive and fine and everything. Except that the goddess Myria got into his head and told him, hey, like the brood, they're really dangerous. And Tipo is also a member of the, he turns into a dragon too. But because Tipo got like bamboozled by the goddess basically telling him, hey, yeah, so the brood is dangerous, and you're a brood, and you're dangerous. So you're gonna live here in Eden, and you're not gonna destroy anything. And in exchange for that, everything is Gucci. And we kind of had to fuck him up because he was insistent on going like, well, no, you have to give up your power, Ryu. And Ryu's like, no, we're not doing that. That's not a thing that we're doing. And so the end result of that is that we bodied Tipo. We got access to this part of the station where apparently we just keep running into boss monsters that we fought before. I fought a couple of them, got a couple of goodies, nearly got killed by a dodo in here. So I am erring on the side of I want to knock this game the fuck out. And we're going to go downstairs and go beat some ass. That's pretty much how we're gonna do it. No one pointed out how the entire starting squad of Transformers. Yeah, that's true. Everybody had Ryu, Tipo, and Rei all have some kind of power to do something, and it's pretty interesting. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go get the rice shared out for my dinner. Pour me a drink, and we're kicking in. attack resub into return to lurk. Nice try. You can't fucking sneak attack me, CJ, you fucking nerd. My ears are too good for that. Thank you for the year sub, though. I appreciate it. Go on ahead, lurk. Wow. Huh. That means that you subbed during my roughly around my 3rd stream anniversary then, right? Huh. That's pretty rad. And the rice came out perfect. I'm a god. I'm amazing. I'm simply spectacular. The rice came out absolutely perfect. I think we all know by now that whenever she runs off like that, it always means trouble. You're an amazing machine. Do you know that, honey? Oh. Attention. Navigator code for highest level functions accepted. Access to library mode granted. Yeah, this is, by the way, literally it. Like, I don't believe there are any random battles down here that I remember. Well, not. I'm full of shit. There are. I'm like, haha. Out of 10 timing indeed. What? Excuse me, how much? Well, I guess that's me, huh? That's me taught, huh? Okay, good. I was afraid that they were gonna make me fight that. I'm like, I don't want it. Welcome. We serve the Almighty Goddess. Before you meet with the Holy Miria, please hear our words. The Holy Miria awaits you ahead. If it's only one, I think we can do this. Before the coming of Miria, the world was dying. Wounded Earth was being covered by sand, and the very life was being sucked out of its inhabitants. The grieving Miria used all her divine power to divide the world into two halves. One half being where you are now, the Desert of Death, and the other, the world you came from, overflowing with life. Two worlds are separated by the vast and violent ocean you call the Outer Sea. Which protects your world from the desert. Okay, hold on. Ray is really close to a level up, so I'm gonna just take a minute and just get him the last level up that he's gonna get. Not against the Goo King, though. We're not doing that. Not against the Goo. Anything but a Goo. Like, yeah, Ray could use another level, but like, not like that. I shouldn't have charged. Wrong move. Wrong move there. All I need is just one more and it should be fine. This entire fucking game. Shouldn't have done that. Oh. Ryu got... It's because Ryu got, he got petrified by the shock, and so that means that he can't move. So that basically counts as a party wipe because the other two are dead. So, haha. Teach me to be greedy, I guess. Cursed. Cursed. Well, Ray got his level up at least. Yes, we heard this part already, but saw this part already. Basically, the world has been divided into two parts because this protects your world from the desert. Right. The idea is that the outer sea protects the world from the desert because Miria didn't want us to be like eaten by the desert or whatever. The majority of life that escaped death was taken like yourselves to the other world. It is Miria's desire to protect life, protect your world. Even a monster's life is sacred to Miria. Okay, and yet that didn't stop her from basically brainwashing Tipo into doing exactly what she wanted. Not that she literally did it, but more like she talked him around into it and indoctrinated him into extremely strong self-hatred. In order to protect the life she so loved, Miria instituted many forms of safeguards and controls. Foremost among these is the control of technology. Miria makes certain that no dangerous machines, like weapons, are developed. Miria allows the use and repair of only existing machines, keeps the studies of machines from leading to potentially destructive ends. That feels like it's plot, so I don't want to go that way. I want to explore and see what all is on here. I do have the strategy guide I could literally be looking at to figure this out, actually. Second control is achieved through the energy of Prism Ore. Prism Ore is the fossilized remains of living beings. Yeah. That much I think we sort of knew already. Transmuted by the blessed power of the divine Miria. Hey, base. Ouch. You see, Prism Ore is no more than one of the ways Miria provides the world with her magical energy. Okay. Thanks for the stretch, Sasha. Appreciate it. Alright. By the way, once you step on that platform, that's it. Okay. Guardian God. And Ryu. My brave, strong children. Cross the violent ocean, burning desert. I am Miria. O great and mighty goddess, we have journeyed far seeking you that we might know the truth. O goddess, tell us, why did the brood have to be destroyed? Is there anyone who wishes the destruction of life? I certainly do not. However, the power of the brood is too great. Great for my small, small world. As you know, that of the world is almost entirely buried by sand. Making it almost impossible for anything to survive. Life has been driven nearly to extinction. I have to preserve what little is left. I had to save the rest of the world. Danger called the Brood. So what you're saying is, we should just sit back and let you take care of us, like we were your babies or something, right? Exactly, Ray. If I did not hold it back, using the outer sea as a shield, the desert would slowly, inevitably spread across the entire world. If I did not continue to create the machines that are repaired and used worldwide, civilization as we know it would surely perish. But while we don't have the means now, someday we might be able to build our own machines. If the world were covered by sand, your lives would be consumed with the struggle to survive. You would not be able to build anything. And if you succeed creating the machines you need, can you say with certainty that you would not also build a weapon with which you might also destroy yourselves, Momo? In the past, this world was large, larger than you can imagine. Many people once lived here in Karishan. But the people fought and quarreled. The city was swallowed by the desert. I was unable to protect them. I will not make the same mistake again. I will protect you and all the life that is left. I understand what you're trying to say. We are weak, and maybe we do need help and protection. And the power of the Brood may be similar to the power that destroyed this city so long ago. But what are you saying we should do? Are you saying that Ryu has to die? Or that he has to spend the rest of his life locked up in some little room in an artificial world? Like Tipo? No kidding. I don't like the fact that this is all being controlled by you. That you're pulling all the strings. It's like a little kid, you see? You tell me to sit still, it makes me want to run around more, yeah? Oh, goddess. We have no desire to give Ryu up to you, nor do we wish to see him killed. Whoa! Yo, everybody's squaring up. Having traveled with him, I can say that I do not believe that the power of the Brood is as fearsome and dangerous as you claim it to be. I'm shocked that nearly the entire world is covered by sand. But with Ryu's, with our power working together, then maybe, just maybe, my children, I admire your bravery and courage, Ray. There is no need to worry. I will erase your memories of this place and simply return you to where you belong, Momo. Oh, right. As a general content warning, I'm sorry. The last fight, when we get to it, is going to have some extreme body horror, distended organs, and things like that. So you may want to either brace yourselves or lurk during the last fight if you are not good with either of those things. It's gonna get gnarly. My strength is admittedly small, but it is all you have to live with. You understand, Nina? No, stop! I Yeah, this is definitely what a benevolent goddess would do. Mm-hmm. Thank you for bringing Ryu here. Guardian Gar, your mission is now complete. What about me, Miria? You didn't call my name. Oh shit! Don't you know who I am? You. You're Yggdrasil. You won't be able to get away with this. Not while I'm around. All I'm doing is leading my children by the hand, giving them a world they can live in. Miria, these so-called children crossed the entire world to get here and overcame the myriad barriers that you set before them. All for the sake of helping their friend, Ryu, find his destiny. Yeah. Very well. We will let Ryu decide. What do you want to do? If you give up your power, the world will continue to live under my protection, as it has until now. Your power, which has brought you here, too big for the world, like the other brood once did. Accept your fate. For you have to believe in yourself and in those who believe in you. To tell the truth, I'm really frightened. We're not strong at all. But Nina, you go against fate. Something awful might happen to the world. But I've always believed you weren't a bad dragon. I'll always believe that, no matter what happens. I only know how to fix machines, you know? But we can dig up those machines, even if they're buried under a desert, and learn from them. Even if the world is covered in sand, we'd still be able to do something. As long as we don't give up, right? Tell the truth, all this talk about the end of the world or the desert, it's all just too big. I can't get a handle on it. You'll have to decide for yourself, Ryu. We'll be alright. I have a feeling it'll all work out. I brought you here simply because I wanted to know the truth about my own actions. It may have been a selfish reason, but I've learned one thing from you. Now, more than Miria, I trust you, Ryu. I know it won't make up for all the brood I killed, but I'm glad I brought you here. It's because of all that nonsense she's going on about that Teepo ended up the way he did. He messed with my brother. That's the one thing I can't forgive. I don't care what you decide to do. I'm gonna fight her. I don't know if I can win or not, but I gotta try. But yeah, before we potentially engage hands, let's talk about it for a minute, right? I've said before that this is a game that is about power and how it's used, right? And I want to just sort of point out that for all that she insists, right? For all that she insists that she cares about life and that all this other stuff, right? Miria And it's very interesting, right? They don't talk about it very much. But Miria, her entire sort of thing in this plot is foreshadowed by one other character. Only one, but you wouldn't think to really think about it until you actually experience it. Nina's mother. Nina's mother is basically just a small-scale version of Miria. And the game doesn't talk about it very overtly, right? But, and it's one of the things that I wish that they maybe, they didn't talk about it very overtly, and it's something that I wish they would have maybe pressed the point on a little harder. But the entire problem with Nina's mother is a microcosm of the larger issue of the main thrust of the game, which is about power and how you use it. And more importantly, what you use that power for. Nina, right, is very much as the princess, I have a responsibility to the people. I need to go out and be doing these things and all this other stuff, right? I can't just sit up in the castle and do nothing. It is my job to do something about the ills that plague my people, right? Whereas Nina's mother is very much no, can't risk yourself. You're the crown princess of Windia. You're too important for that. You have to be safe. I love you and I care about you deeply. You're endangering yourself just running around doing these things. You have to stay where it's safe. You can't go out and do these things. You're not supposed to do these things. You are a princess. Princesses don't do this, right? Now you take that, replace Nina with the people of the world, and replace Nina's mother with Miria, and you have basically the sort of central conflict, right? Protect even if it hinders growth kind of love. Exactly, right? It is helicopter parenting to the extreme. Suffocation even. Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Miria could be factually correct about all of the things that she's saying, right? She could be factually right about all of these things. She could be. But it doesn't change the fact that intrinsically, she does not understand or does not care to acknowledge or admit that what she is doing is stifling. And given that this is the very same goddess, at least in some form, probably, well, not some form, probably. It's implied very strongly by the opening mural and everything, right? That, and also the way that her name is in both the Japanese version of Breath of Fire 1 and the English, right? The long and short of it is that same goddess, right? In Breath of Fire 1, Miria's whole thing was, yeah, I'll grant whatever wishes you want, sure, But if you don't want to step to her tune, let her grant wishes and otherwise take, right? Here's the threat. Miria used her wish granting as a way to sort of coddle and control people, right? Because think about it. If the goddess is like, yeah, all you have to do is serve me and you get everything that you could possibly want, I'll grant whatever wishes you desire, right? Then yeah, you sit, become complacent. You decide to let her have the say and run of things the way that she wants to. And you don't feel any impetus to grow. Right? Same methodology here, even if it is coming from ostensibly a more wholesome sort of position, at least in practice, in theory anyway. In practice, not so much. Right? We all can tell this. A decision on which the fate of the world hangs in the balance. Give up the power of the brood and live in a peaceful world watched over by the goddess, or believe in the power of the brood and travel into the empty desert, where unknown dangers await. Ryu decides to, and yes, this choice actually does matter. This is not a but thou must. You literally can and will get a different ending if you choose to give up your power. You're not even entertaining that because, and Kettle pointed it out earlier, right? Cutting to the heart of it. When you really think about it, at the end of the day, it is Miria's fault that Tipo turned out the way that he did. It is, right? Putting aside whatever influences he had before he met Miria, it is literally because Tipo met and was influenced by Miria that Tipo is dead right now. Because Miria talked him into believing, good catch, Owls. Yes, that is something that is very important to note. Miria's wings are upside down. Riddle on that for a second. But yeah, to finish my thought. Ray already pointed it out, right? Miria is the reason why Tipo is dead. We had to fight Tipo. Yes, like we absolutely did have to fight him, right? But we only fought him because Miria twisted his head around to not only make him hate himself and his power, but to make him think that the only way to stay with Ryu was I gotta talk Ryu out of his power. I gotta make him give it up. I have to make Ryu into me in order to make sure that he can stay with me. Because otherwise, like, no good, right? She's still manipulating. No, she does think she's being helpful. Like, she straight up says it, right? She thinks that the power of the Brood is too big for the world. She thinks that humans and the people of the world are too small and weak to deal with the encroachment of the desert. She straight up knows. It's definitely not a probably. She does. She thinks that she is doing the thing that only she can do with her power. Again, right? Her power. Poor Tipo didn't have the friends Ryu had to have his self-esteem and that he's worth the sight and that he can set his own fate. The heartbeat sounds a little unsettling on loop here. Yeah. I'll move forward then to get it to stop. Ryu realized couldn't give up his power. Of course, he thought of his people and his destiny and Tipo. But more importantly, he felt that if he gave up his power, he would no longer be himself. That's it. That's it. That's the thing, right? Do you realize what it is you are trying to do? Do you? By making me your enemy. You realize you're making the whole world your enemy, don't you? I have faith that you, the Brood, are not so foolish. Come, lower your weapon. Ryu realized it was foolish to challenge a god, but he held his ground. Alright, good, we're past it. Okay, the reason why I'm going to stop here is to finish the conversation, but also because I know we have an ad break coming up in like a little bit. But yeah, that's the whole thing, right? Again, power. Coming back to that central point real quick. Power. What does Miria use her power to do? She says it's to protect people, right? She says that it's to protect the world and to protect the weak humans and to all that other stuff. But look at Ryu. Ryu, when he is using his power to protect the people and the things that are precious to him, right? Yes, it is forceful. Yes, it is dangerous. All that other stuff. But Ryu is the person who truly understands how to use his. She didn't have wings in the earlier games. This is in Breath of Fire 1. She was depicted as a small child in her disguise, and then turned into like a snake head, multi-snake head thing. She didn't have wings in the previous games that she was in. Or the previous game that she was in, because she wasn't in Breath of Fire 2. She was mentioned, but she wasn't there. But yeah, that's the thing, right? Ryu uses his power to actually protect people in a way that matters, right? Miria thinks she is. And again, that's why I said earlier, power and how you use it is at the center of Breath of Fire 3's theme, right? Because the Brood chose not to fight in defiance of Miria even though they could have. Right? Ryu adds. Alright, I'm gonna hold that thought real quick. Gonna go AFK while ads are running so I can go get a drink and eat a little bit more. So I'll be back in a minute. Finish the line of thought because I don't want us to get any of the fight covered by ads if I can help it. So when ads are done, I'm gonna switch back over to the speed we're gonna go. But until then, enjoy the AFK video. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and action. Henshin!
The jump to the sky turns to a rider kick.
There's only one person who can stop, and that's me. Hey everybody, my name is Sean. They call me either that or SJ. As I say on my own channel, make games, I play games. Games make you basically. Did you really think that I was going to let you hit me with that? No. Guess what? I'm still alive, motherfucker. Going too fast is no good. Shut the fuck up. What else you got? I have to hit button. Button hit good. This no count, no good, self-absorbed. Giving free turns goes against my professional ethics. I saved your ass! Yo, the nerve of this motherfucker. The absolute gall. The complete stinkiness. Do you see these motherfuckers? They stole all my shit! Fuck out of here. Fuck you. I don't give a fuck now. Stank ass, punk ass, smelly ass motherfucker. Yo! Not with the deep cut. My brain is full of feels. Anyway, so Fuck. We should just play this fucking video game. Damn it! That's not fair. No, that's fighting dirty. You can't do that. Just because it's correct doesn't mean it's right. Just for that, I'll teach y'all to talk to me about the consequences of my own actions. And now, this poll that I'm not going to look at the results of yet, I'm lying, I'm going to look right now. Jesus fuck! Why are y'all like this? What was the reason? This is all according to my calculations. We will probably be fine. God damn it. Can somebody clip that? Going too fast is no good. You facetious motherfuckers. You really are gonna stand up in front of God and everybody. Oh my fucking god. Okay, unmuted. We're back. Welcome on Emery GX. I'm here, queer, in a state of existential fear, and playing Final Fantasy XIV while I'm here. Yeah. I too enjoy the 14th of the fantasies that are final on occasion. But thank you so much for the raid, by the way, Emery GX. Yeah, thank you for stopping by. I deeply appreciate it. Hi, everybody from Emery's stream. My name is Sean, and call me either that or straight. I make games, play games, keep. And hydration. And we're literally on the last boss of Breath of Fire 3. So, quick heads up right now, before we get into it. This is the final fight. This is the end of the game. We are clearing it by hook or by crook, whether I have to engage Billy Mitchell mode or not. So, if you were like, yeah, I'm planning on playing Breath of Fire 3 at some point someday, and I really don't want spoilers, you will probably want to like go duck and roll. If you do not have enough for a stretch redemption, I guess Sasha redeemed the last one like almost half an hour ago. If somebody else wants to throw in for a stretch, thank you, Kettle. Okay, everybody stretch. All right, hold on. I gotta refund somebody. I gotta refund one of you two for that, because everybody stretch more or less has it covered. So I gotta remember to refund Kettle their points in a little bit. So everybody stretch means everybody stretches. So, all right, follow along with me. Most important thing, if while you are doing these stretches, you feel something go itchy, ouchy, ooh, you stop. Go slowly. Trust your body. If you go like, oh God, this hurts, you stop. So, let's just do this. So, left hand. Fuck this boss while I'm here. I'm gonna try. So take this hand, your left hand, right? Hold it up like this. Like you're doing like a big bang attack. You're saying stop, right? Right hand. Do this. Push back gently. Feel a little bit of strain along the top of your forearm. Don't jam it back. Just push back gently. Count to 10. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Slowly release. Take your hand, bend it down this way. Same thing like this. Gently. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make sure your elbow is straight-ish. 8, 9, 10. Release. Slowly. Now, right hand up. Big bang attack. Left hand, like this. Go back a little bit. Feel the strain along your upper arm here. Elbow should be, don't like hard lock it in. Just keep your elbow mostly straight so you feel the tension up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Slowly relax, release, pop her down. Like this. Same principle. Keep your elbow mostly straight and push that, push a little bit. Strain should still be along the same part up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Release. Slowly. Shake it out. Shake it out. Shake it out. All right. I'm just gonna do shoulders and neck side to side real quick, and then we'll get to it. So shoulders. Roll them forward. Slow. Nice and slow and easy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And at the bottom, reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right? Neck rolls. So, don't like just drop your head. Let it slowly roll down. Spin it to your right and come round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, Emery, how did Final Fantasy VII Rebirth go? How far are you in? 10 reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, okay. Good enough. Okay, right. I am at Mount Nebo. In case there's anybody else in chat who either hasn't played OG Final Fantasy VII or is working their way through Rebirth, that is probably info enough. Very interesting. I hope things. I haven't seen that far. I only know it from the OG. But that should be a very spicy time, I imagine. So yeah, before we get into the final boss, content warning again, in case you're coming in. Final boss has two things to note. One, she has a move with an extremely unfortunate name. Considering that she basically helped facilitate a genocide, you can guess what that name is. I'm not going to say it. It may show up at some point because of the threshold at which she uses that attack. The name is bad. I'm not saying it. Second is that there is some body horror involved in this boss fight. It's mostly going to involve not like bloody, but like guts and stuff are going to be distending and coming out and wriggling and doing all kinds of like nasty looking shit. So those are your content warnings for this boss fight. I'm going to give us a 5 count and then we're going to go. So, ready up. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go it. My poor Ryu. Your great power has driven you wild. Oh shit! What of those who do not have such power, like the brute? They cannot live without my protection. OG player here, she is also cheap with her BS, and that move will get used frequently if she is not at a key health goal post. Good to know. By not giving up your power, threaten their very existence. Worst comes to worst, I do have Billy Mitchell strats on deck, so shouldn't be too bad. If worst comes to worst, if it absolutely looks like she's just gonna like cream us, I got Billy Mitchell strats, so no worries. Just as I always believed, the Brood truly are a danger, a threat to the world. Not true, Miria. It just means that life is no longer content to live in the little cage you have made for it. Now that she's not getting her way, the white feminism jumped out. Exactly. I knew we would fight God in this game. Yep. Reach heaven through violence. Killing the throne God. That's JRPGs. It's JRPGs for you. But still, no matter what you say, I will protect this world. For the sake of all life on it. Miria. Life in your world has been protected from the desert and death. But that's not the same as living. Ryu, son of the accursed brood, the time for talk has ended. If you will not change your mind, it grieves me to harm you, but I have no choice. For the good of the world, you must die. Choose 3 party members to fight against the goddess. The Ryu, Momo, Rei. Yeah, at this point, we're just getting rid of all of our old save states. Change party formation. We need chain formation with Ray up front. It pains me. It grieves me, my children, that I must take up arms against you, against the very life I have sworn to protect. But you must understand, Ryu. I can't let you, your power, roam free in the world. To protect the lives of my other children, I must become unto a fury. Does the party matter when you fight her? Story-wise, I mean, I don't think so. Farewell, my children. Alright, come on. Alright, bring it. Okay, good. Momo's got an EX turn. And this is why I made a point of doing speed, because all I need is to make sure that, like, as long as Ray gets an EX turn, we're set, basically. Where is it? I know I have some panaceas here. Her monster design is great. She looks like a harpy, and I definitely see what they were going for. Yeah. Okay, which means Ryu needs speed up, because he doesn't. Ryu not getting EX turns is not good. So we gotta fix that. Alright. Go down a washout, and let's do another shield. Are you... God damn it. Eat a bag of shit. Literally, she dispelled the fucking... She literally just got rid of all the magic. Ah! Hey, Shiny. You missed all the monologuing before we decided to like go hands with God. Yeah, we were like literally like what, 3 rooms away from her at the end of last stream. So This is hateful. This is just hateful. It's just hateful. Literally. Literally. I cannot even get my basic... I can't even get my fucking buff stuff. Because she keeps using Sanctuary to get rid of them. Okay. Nope. You gotta get a speed on you gotta get a speed on Momo so she gets EX turns also. Because basically EX turns are gonna be what saves us here. Let's throw down another War Shout. Yeah. Let's just let it rip. Like let's let it rip. She wants to go, we can go. Best. Kaiser. Ready? I have a plan here. I'm making Ryu transform first, and then I'm gonna use influence so that way, the plan here is that if I do it that way, right? I'm trying to think, since one can make the case that Lavos and Genova from Chrono Trigger and Final Fantasy VII respectively could represent capitalism, could you make the case that Miria could be, not an inaccurate read, I think. Punch her in the... That's the plan. I'm about to do it. I'm about to do it. Alright. So the reason why I transformed first is so that this way, right? Also in lurk mode, even after Daystream, well now... Yeah. So, the reason why I did it this way is deliberately so that, so now, right, if I done Were Tiger before turning Ryu into Kaiser, it would have broken the influence because he would have TLDR, if the person that uses influence undergoes some form of form change, it actually breaks the influence. Doesn't tell you that, but it does. So by waiting until Ryu got into IRT Kaiser before showing out influence, that sets it up so that I don't have to like worry about getting absolutely fucked over by the change happening. Damn. Alright, my guy, let's go. Pop off. I'll take Venom over like Sanctuary or some shit, actually. The Berserk doesn't matter for Ray because right now he's under I have to make a save state basically every turn to be ready to roll back. Because I prefer to do this legit, but I know perfectly well that she will fucking cheat. I don't have any more antidotes left, do I? I'd rather not spend AP if I can help it. AP is too important to spend right now. Where is it? 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 Alright, I also have a bunch of power glasses I can use to try to, like, absolutely unfuck things if we absolutely need to. That's true. Forgot about those. Here they are. Anyway, my plan is basically to focus, is basically just to, like, focus, shadow walk as much as I can. And just, like, mash out as much as I can. I'm also absolutely 100% going to be using Wisdom Fruits now, because I do not give a fuck. It's the last fight. So I will keep Ryu in actual Kaiser without, like, using cheats for as long as I possibly can. Fuck you, Shadow Walk. Yeah, hey boss, good to see you. But yeah, no, my plan is 100% to, like, basically save state every turn, and if I absolutely look like I'm about to get really, really fucked, Billy Mitchell style, and I'll just turn on, I'll turn on the stuff. Hui! Ay, basura. Alright. Do I have multivitamins, plurals? I probably don't. Is her top part a crab? I don't know. I can't be fucked. I'm gonna throw down 1 Moon Tears right now, because I need to be able to heal all of them, really. Ryu is fine, I guess. Okay, I don't need to be that. I really should save it for, like... But Momo's gonna need all the AP she can get, so I'm gonna do this. Ryu, focus up. So the nice thing about EX turns also, here's the important part about EX turns as well. This is very important to note. Ryu's Dragon transformations do not drain his AP on EX turns. If you are getting EX turns, then the drain on your AP... Oh, sorry, let me phrase that. If you are getting EX turns, the drain on your AP switches from every turn that you are active to every other turn because of the way that the ticks work. Or it's supposed to work like that, I mean. So I have been told. If I've been lied to, then we will find out very shortly. Okay. Ryu's about to drop transformation, so Momo has to be the one to use. Like I said, this is a final fight, so I don't give a shit. We're going all out. Wisdom fruit for that, man. I'm gonna split a safe state here just in case. Just in case this goes horribly fucking wrong. Because there's a pretty good chance that if it's a full party attack, Ray is probably gonna cark it in a minute. Oh, and Momo got hit with the boot. Oh, all right. This is a little rough. This could be a problem. Because Ryu can't use items and he can't hit Momo. If he hits Momo, Momo's going to die. Straight up. So, yeah. Ryu can't use items in dragon form, and Momo got both poisoned and confused. Which means that basically speaking, if she tanks a spell and doesn't die, she should be fine. But if she doesn't, this basically means that I have no healer. And Ryu will be able to tank mostly anything that Miria throws at him, but we need the support. We cannot risk that fuckery. Okay, I can try skating around this one way. I think Ryu should at least still get one more turn before the drain comes, which means that ideally, right? He should not get a drain now. He should get a drain good. Okay, I timed it. We're good. I was worried about that for like half a second. I was starting to sweat. Okay. This is perfect because this is the turn that Ryu would have a drain, would have his AP drain out. So instead, we're going to have this is where now we'll have Momo use the Wisdom Fruit. So this is what I meant, right? It's when you're getting EX turns, Ryu's AP does not drain every turn, it drains every other turn. So if you time this correctly and you know and you've got your stuff in mind when you're going with it, you can, in fact, you can sort of work around it like this and avoid getting screwed over by Ryu dropping out of Dragon Transformation at literally the most inconvenient time. Very useful if you plan for it correctly. $300. That's cute. You're funny. That's funny. You are funny. Man, you're hilarious. 300 HP. You're literally about to lose all that shit. Ray, and that's even before. That's not even counting Ray still hitting hard enough to make that. Oh, you're funny. Yeah, no, fuck all of that. All right. Because everybody's good for health right now, and I don't think Warshout can push you past nearly as much as what we're at now. So I can just have her throw down like a protector too. If she learned Reflect, that would have been even better, ideally, because I'd be using that as insurance against her magic attacks. But, you know, can't do that, because she doesn't have it. I really hope that does not affect Momo this time, because that would be really... I'm tempted to. I'm tempted to so bad. Because basically, Momo has to snap out of it in like 3 or 4 turns, or Ryu eats a gigantic bag of shit. We've done, at this point, at least a good 10k damage to her, probably. Between all of the shit that Ryu has kind of like thrown at her with focus, shadow walk happening all the time. But yeah, I really don't want to be in the position where that happens, to be honest with you. So fuck it, I'm just gonna throw another wash out. Momo based. Momo based. Momo based. 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 No notes. No notes. Notice, she literally got ducked hard by that and was just like, hey, that hurt. Got right the fuck back up. Alright, that means that she needs an extra protect spell, actually, because... Damn. Alright. Protect yourself. Save state. Here. Let's throw another Shadow Walk. Jesus! Oh wow. She didn't even... Well, bye-bye. Only one phase in a JRPG? Yeah, only one. So, we skipped past the attack that I was worried about by virtue of the fact that IRT Kaiser is really, really strong. So basically, if you really want like a really, really busted comp for the last battle where you don't want to have to sweat it, Ryu Momo Ray is pretty much the comp. If you have Ryu with enough AP or you get enough Wisdom Fruit that you can just kind of keep feeding him that so you can maintain IRT Kaiser, focus, Shadow Walk with washout buffs and all that, you can make it work. I was sincerely expecting that she was going to hose the fuck out of me. I thought I was way too underleveled. But thank you for the GGs, everybody. All right, I got to put on my dramatic reading voice now. It's over. No. For you, it's just the beginning. It was a long, hard journey. But we did the right thing. Didn't we? Gar? As a guardian, my life must end here with the goddess's own. Time to die. Go. From now on, must walk on your own. Pretty badass though. My man's literally just like, my man's literally just like goes, time to pray. Let's go. My world. I tried, but it wasn't enough. Here, the world will be destroyed again. What should I have done? What could I have done? If there is a God, Answer me. Hey. Who here knows their... I think it's Gnostic? Who here knows their Gnostic, trivia facts? Because you see, Miria is an example of something we would call a demiurge. Someone who is possessed of great and amazing power, right? And mistakenly believes that they are therefore capable of stepping into the place of God or something close to that nature. But the demiurge, by their very nature, no, they are not a divinity. They are extremely powerful and are very much maybe like a step or two, or however it works. I'm butchering this tremendously. But the main point of like a figure like the demiurge is that they believe that they are godlike. And they assume the mantle thereof, but they do not have that strength. They do not have that power. That is not a thing that is within their grasp. Miria is a classic example of very much this type of figure. As you can see right here, by virtue of the fact that she says, if there is a God, answer me. So this whole fucking time, going on about how she's the goddess Miria and all that shit. Nah. What should I have done with the brood? It's for the best, Miria. Protected this world until now. And Gar is just there chilling. He has to be. He said it himself, right? His life has to end with, and it's not just him going, oh, this is my atonement. He's literally like, they don't translate it very well, but the implication is literally that if Miria is dead, then the power from which he springs forth, his own, is cut off too. So no, they don't talk about that at all in the first Breath of Fire. It doesn't come up. It doesn't come up. Depending on how you look at it, you could say it's a retcon that was put into this game, but it doesn't come up at all that I know of. Though I think the first game at least makes it clear that the last time Miria was running up and around, Dace did step up to be like, ayo, you gotta cut that out. Also notice, Dace, as far as I'm aware, is basically the feminized form of Deus. So she's not God either, to be clear, but that gives you a rough idea, sort of, I guess maybe where their power scales stand in terms of that. Went too far in your attempt to wipe out the brood. And in the end, that was something your children had to overcome, go beyond, in order to walk on their own. Sorry for the flashing and the noises. Y'all gotta move. Move like you're going somewhere. But don't worry. They can take care of themselves better than you think. And Deus would know because she's basically been with all... She's walked the earth, right? So she would know. They and the world are stronger than we think. I'm sure of it. These snake ladies keep fucking up. Maybe they should retire. I mean, notice that Dace came here and didn't leave. So I don't even think she disagrees with you exactly. Saving the animals is canon. It is amazing to me how this game from the 90s has a better written demiurge figure than some of the newer games who try but fail. 3 houses. Yeah. Okay, so then I did interpret that correctly, right? Shiny, I wasn't completely talking out of my ass. I did remember that theory correctly. By the way, if Capcom ever... I know they wouldn't, because pixel art at this scale is not a thing that Capcom does anymore. But if Capcom was straight up like, yeah, actually, let's remake Breath of Fire 3 in the same sprite polygon mix with this level of sprite detail, I'd scream. Those sprites are different than normal sprites. You remember how I said that that some of the designs were already sort of like redesigned, like some of the designs were I should have taken a screen. I was too slow. I didn't take a screen cap in time. That's a beautiful fucking picture to take. But yeah, it's because a lot of the sprite work was done off of preliminary art initially, and then Tatsuya Yoshikawa went back and redid the art after the sprites were already done, and that's why they look different. Ryu and Rei's look relatively close to each other, or to the actual art. Ryu and Rei's look relatively close to the actual art. Probably because they may have been done a little bit closer to it. But yeah, like a lot of the other stuff, not so much. I'm so upset that I didn't capture, that my brain froze and I didn't capture that thing of them looking out over the thing. Hang on, we can do the pixel squared. Yeah, like... Yeah. Basically, it's one of those things where it's like... Capcom's direct... It's more that I don't... Well, let me phrase it like this. Capcom could do it, but I suspect that a lot of their focus now is on the fact that like 3D for them and the way that the RE engine looks and things like that. Like when you look at Dragon's Dogma 2, Street Fighter 6, right? Togawa-san, thank you very much. The fishing game is really, really fucking good. Just saying that. But yeah, like Capcom right now generally seems much more invested in cranking out as much value from the RE engine as they can. And to be clear, right? Like, I don't think that RE engine is bad. Like, Street Fighter 6 is a fucking pretty game. Dragon's Dogma 2, for all that people are like flipping their shit about how unoptimized it is, the fact that you can sit down and in Dragon's Dogma 2 make a very credible looking Lae'zel, like, I get it. By the way, instruments, word, VO, and background vocals. Those are the actual people, those are the two women that actually did this game. Or did this game's soundtrack. Fun fact, if you are familiar with Akari Kaida and Yoshino Aoki. They're the people that did the music. They're the 2 women that did the musicals. It's them. And it's one of them that's doing the vocals for this. The song is called Pure Again. And if you go look it up, Akari Kaida and Yoshino Aoki with one additional person on guitar. Straight up. All right, fun fact. We got a game trivia review. So, fun fact about this game. I said this earlier, like way earlier, like several streams ago, but I'll give the one that I was about to say before I forgot. I'm gonna go up and adjust the thing that Emery said. If you know the Japanese voice of Ranma Saotome from Ranma 1/2, if you've heard it before, that voice actor's name is Kappei Yamaguchi. If you listen carefully to adult Ryu's voice clips, that's him. So, Ranma Saotome's Japanese voice actor is Ryu's adult voice actor in this game. Okay, we're definitely getting. All right, let me make sure that we captured that. Give me 1 second, y'all. I just gotta double check to make sure that we captured that. Yes, it was. Yes. Yes, that Sprout is in fact Peiko. Keep in mind, the game is also very subtle about this too, right? But remember, Peiko is a mutant, but a mutant based on Pele's experiments with Yggdrasil sap, right? And so, reason why Peiko can talk to Yggdrasil, which they talk about there, right? Is because by virtue of the fact that Peiko was made from Yggdrasil sap, he can also, right? He basically is, in a sense, a mobile Sprout version of Yggdrasil. Did my pronouns work? They haven't refreshed on this end yet. That I can see. It may take a second. Feel free to let me know what they are though, so that I get them right. So they haven't popped up on this end that I can see yet. But yeah. So, I say all that to say that because Hide followed. So, like what Emery was saying when they came in when they were before I get back to what they were saying. Right. Peiko being basically a mobile Yggdrasil sprout, wherever he is planted, he will bring life. And yeah, that's why he didn't come back with them. Because hang on. You go here, set them over here, and make sure that you have the like you do the login with Twitch thing, and authorize it to do the thing. selected pronouns, and then make sure that you the plugins for it are also in the top. You also, oh right, you may have to also like refresh your you have to refresh it also in order for it to show up. In my case, it won't show up on my end for like a little bit anyway because I see them primarily through there. I wish we could set the order of the pronouns if you have more than one. You should be able to do primary, secondary on that site though. Primary should be what comes first, and secondary should be what comes second. As far as I'm aware. In my case, I don't use two sets, so I could be wrong about that. But to my understanding, if you go to that site and you set it and you set primary for the first one, secondary for the second one, it should give that order. But yeah, Peiko has planted himself. The implication is that he's planted himself so that he can help to stop the advancement of the desert, right? That is the general idea of what he is going for. Okay, I did refresh the chat window on my end, so it might work correctly now, so I can see them properly. It may still take a minute to propagate through to the chat, but right. The thing Emmy was saying, they were like, I think that Square Enix should get their hands on this for that. Yeah, that's the main thing. Well, I'll go back to that point finally in a second, but I want to do that. But yeah, that's Peiko's whole thing, right? Basically, the real divine figure here is Peiko, joking, right? That's actually really nice. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Because Shiny brought up a point that I want to jump back to really quick also, where they were like, I know the basic plot overlay of Breath of Fire 4, even though I haven't played it. I know how Breath of Fire 4 as a story starts and finishes. If you make sure that you have, there are buttons in the top left corner of the Alejo. There are buttons in the top left corner of the Alejo website. Make sure that you have the plugin for your browser based on one of those buttons. Click the right one and install it so you can see other people's also in the chat. And then you want to like control F5 the chat window and refresh it and see if that gets it to do it, because it does it on a cache, so it may not update it right away. I know on my end I may not see them during this stream, but by next stream they should propagate correctly on my end. But yeah, knowing the general I'm in the Twitch iPad app, then yeah, probably close it and come back. And if it still doesn't show, then shenanigans. I don't know how to make it work with Apple devices. I don't fuck with Apple like that, so I don't know. But yeah, Breath of Fire 4's plot, I know the general hype, the general beats of it. So it's one of those things where yeah, there are certain degrees of overlap, I think, is the way that I'm thinking about it based on what I know. But yeah, in some ways, Breath of Fire 3 definitely has, I think, a slightly stronger understanding of certain things that it wants to do. I think basically the way that I look at it is that Breath of Fire 4's gameplay systems yeah. I only know Square Enix should, not because they're the core JRPG people. I mean the creative business teams who were Final Fantasy 16, New Star Ocean 2 remake, and the Octopath games. Yeah, like... Right, let me go back to that since that came up. My main thing primarily is that God damn it, ad break. Of all the times, ad break, ad break. After the ad break is done, I'm gonna get my line of thought. This is like a whole conversation I kind of want to have about this. I think is important. But yeah, I gotta wait the ad timer out. About Peiko? No, it's not so much about Peiko in as much as the thing I was gonna say insofar as like why I think Capcom should keep this insofar as like JRPG stuff. Yeah, the ads stagger themselves a little bit weirdly. People who have just come in will usually wind up ducking that. So I know sometimes it gets a little weird. So I want to like make sure, like I know that once the timer is done, people who did get caught by ads are like through them. So hey Risu. All right. Assuming that Risu did not get immediately like mollywopped by ads. Hi Risu. You have come in on the very end of Breath of Fire 3. Did you get killed by? No. I kind of dog walked the final boss, even though I swore. Yeah, this is the ending screen. I kind of dog walked the final boss with like minimal save scumming, because the best dragon form in this game is actually really busted if you know how to supplement it correctly. So yeah, game's done. I mean, also like the last save point in the game is literally like 2 rooms away from the final battle, basically. If that, so that was kind of inevitable. But yeah, right. So my thing about why TLDR, I'm not super keen. I'm gonna preface it like this. I don't think that Square Enix's creative business unit teams would do a bad job necessarily with Breath of Fire, but I also feel like to a certain extent, this is me. And I might just be like thinking a little bit too hard about it one way or the other. I feel like to a certain extent, I feel like Capcom has a better sort of balance for the way that they want to talk about these things. I'm not saying this to say that Square Enix is exclusively focused on this idea of like games as cinematic, because they're not. Square Enix is not the only company that is out there focusing on that and doing that, right? But I feel in particular like Square Enix's thing I feel like Breath of Fire is not it's gonna sound very weird when I say this, but I feel like Breath of Fire 3, or even Breath of Fire as a franchise in particular, especially the parts of Breath of Fire that are like the most memorable, I feel like maybe a creative business unit could pull it off at maybe a creative business unit as opposed to like anybody from like mainline Square Enix could maybe do it. But my feeling, quite honestly, is that Capcom has a certain understanding about the things that make Breath of Fire unique. Not so exclusively that, for example, Tears of Magic can't replicate it, to be clear, but I feel like there's a certain way that Square Enix goes about looking at and handling the way that it does certain things with its games that I intrinsically feel does not fit Breath of Fire in certain aspects, right? I can't put my finger on it entirely. I am mostly going off of like very nebulous game designer sense here. But it mostly just feels to me like there is something about the way that Square Enix currently, it's not necessarily bad, right? I'm not saying that it's bad, but I feel like there is something about how Square Enix currently approaches the way that it's thinking and doing RPGs, not necessarily bad, but that I feel like would miss something of the spirit of Breath of Fire and the way that it works. I have every confidence in the Tears of Magic team that they're going to do a pretty good job of trying to capture what makes Breath of Fire 3 feel like 3 and 4 feel like the games that they are, and even 2 to a certain extent. I feel like the Tears of Magic team can capture that. I feel Capcom doesn't have understanding. They're sitting on Onimusha, forgot about Dino Crisis, and don't listen to the fan base. And I'm an RE personal speedrun. Yeah, so like it's hard, right? Because I sort of get where you're going. But it's also one of those things where it may also just be a thing where, yeah, like Sasha is bringing up another fair point, right? That a lot of what Capcom is thinking is usually about like trying to like get the most squeeze out of the RE engine because of how much work they put into making it work, and that's where they're focusing. Like, here's my other thing also. And this is my thing also about like companies don't listen to the fan base. True, but also keep in mind that this is fucking capitalism that we're talking about. So, functionally speaking, right? That is not even like necessarily a Capcom unique thing, even as much as it is. So here's the other thing I'm thinking about, right? Because yes, they're sitting on Onimusha. Yes, they're sitting on Dino Crisis. But here is my thing, right? Dragon's Dogma has been asleep for a decade and change, and Capcom pulled that back up. That's my main thing. Is the Dragon's Dogma 2, is the fact that like, okay, they could put it in RE Engine a not insignificant part of that? Yes. But when I think about it, and I think about the fact that it's like Dragon's Dogma was literally asleep for damn near a decade and change, and they said, what if we made a new Dragon's Dogma game, right? Are you saying Ryu wouldn't benefit from a Leon style glow up? Lol. Like, is Monster Hunter Wilds on RE Engine? We don't know. Probably. Given what they're going to be going for, probably. And it would not surprise me if they are looking at the stuff that's happening with Dragon's Dogma 2 and using that as like a, okay, right, there are some things we need to be ready for by the time we drop Wilds. Would not surprise me. Yeah, we got her. Boss, legitimately twisted. I thought, Ness, I swear to you, I thought that I was going to cark it so bad, but Ryu with like double and triple war shout, double focus, and shadow walk, 2.9k, 3k, 2.9k, 3.5k. The numbers were wilding. I carved her up like a turkey. It was bad for her. She didn't even use the name. She didn't even use the bat. She didn't even use. And I only had to use like 2 wisdom fruits, I think, of like the 3 or 4 that I had stocked up. And I had to save Scum like maybe twice because Miria got Venom on Momo. Miria got Venom on Momo like twice and confused her like 2 times. And I'm like, if I let her carry with that, we're gonna wipe. This was after she spent like the first 4 turns. Sorry, first 2, just using Sanctuary on me a bunch to get rid of my stat buffs. But then she stopped, and I murdered the fuck out of her. It was great. But yeah, that's my thing. To go back to the thing I was saying really quick. The TLDR is that the fact that of all games, Capcom revived Dragon's Dogma 2. Sorry, they revived Dragon's Dogma as a franchise after like a whole decade of not doing shit with that. Right? It's not likely. But it's one of those things where given that we have 2 Breath of Fire name cameo drops in Street Fighter 6, they're there. Right? I'm not saying this to say, oh yeah, new Breath of Fire from Capcom is right around the corner. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that I think they are thinking more carefully about that. I think they are thinking more carefully about that. And it's just one of those things where, yeah, like for me in particular, I don't know. I do not know if I don't know for sure if Square Enix, if they were in theory to somehow get the license for Breath of Fire and then do this, right? It's not impossible because as I recall it, I believe that the first Breath of Fire game was localized by Enix, like back in the day. If I remember correctly, I think that Enix or somebody else did the localization for Breath of Fire 1, and then Capcom handled it in-house from Breath of Fire 2 onwards, as I recall. They only revived Dragon's Dogma because Dragon's Dogma, a Netflix show, an X-year position. I mean, maybe. That could also be very true. But I guess this is also the other thing I'm going to say, right? The thing about going, like a company never listens to the fan base. Companies are going to do what they're going to do. I think is the simplest way to put it. The only way that I can really put it is that they are going to do whatever the fuck it is that they want to do. And so I could just be spitballing and I could be just like wishful thinking it or whatever. I could be. But I don't know. I am more willing to put stock in the fact, maybe, possibly, that Capcom is thinking about something to do with Breath of Fire in some way, maybe. And if they're not, we have Tears of Magic. And I think that that's probably where I'll leave that conversation. Because we've been on Peiko doing the Sprout thing for a while. There is an open community manager. I will gently ask if you perchance have a link. Kindly throw that into the DMs of Gilded. Oh, they're reviving something I can spell. Yeah, I'm about to say. I will take whatever shot because absolutely. Square Enix has it. I know. I said I think Enix did, which is why I said Enix and not Square. Let me double check. Hopefully, Capcom learned from 5 and 6 because we don't. Well, here's the thing about Dragon Quarter. Dragon Quarter did not necessarily make. Now I gotta go look up time frames again. Fuck. Hold on a second. Uh, that was that date. Okay, here's the thing. Dragon Quarter was not necessary. Was a very sharp departure from Breath of Fire. It was, right? It's just different. But the same team that developed Dragon Quarter would go on to develop Dead Rising. So this is one of those things where it's like we don't need games like that again, except that already happened. And minus like Dead Rising 3 like falling off really hard, Dead Rising did pretty good for Capcom, relatively speaking, as far as I remember. So it happened again. The Fire series got no work from the Enix. Okay, let me just go check to see who localized it, because I don't remember. Breath of Fire 1. I am 90. I am. Who did it? Okay. Wrong. Wasn't Enix, it was Squaresoft. I had it backwards. So it wasn't Enix. I couldn't remember off the top of my head. Squaresoft localized the first Breath of Fire game. They did. I looked. I checked. Before you say no, they didn't. I checked. Square did localize the first Breath of Fire game. Ted Woolsey worked on it. That was the thing that happened. Dead Rising performed very well. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? So Dragon Quarter, for all that it is a very different. Yes, I do want to save. We do save our clear files here. For all that Dragon Quarter is extremely different from the yeah, Dragon Quarter, yeah. I know that. I know. That's correct. I am aware of that. Yes. Breath of Fire 6 was a mobile game that was only released in Japan and it tanked. Yes. I was mostly talking about it. I was talking about Dragon Quarter specifically from the context of you don't need games like that, right? Not, I get where Ebony was coming from, but my main point was mostly that Dragon Quarter is the reason why Dead Rising exists. And Dead Rising did exceptionally well, right? The reason why I say this is because it is not so much that Dragon Quarter is an exact one-to-one of Dead Rising's gameplay style, but that a lot of the way that Dragon Quarter is structured in terms of you continually replay the game from like different progress points, right? That general role and structure was inspired by the way that Dragon Quarter works. That is the way. That's the thing I was mostly getting at. And it's because the same teams from Capcom, or at least some of the same people, worked on both games. Right? I just want to load the clear file. Yeah, a file may not fit in one spot, doesn't mean the file is bunk, it's just misaligned. Exactly. So where do they put you? Oh, that's interesting. They just drop you off right outside of Jagnir. Yeah. We're not gonna have time to do Super Totsugeki before I gotta leave. So let's just talk, I think. We can just talk for a while. Because I'm not gonna have time to do Super Totsugeki 64. I don't think I'm gonna have time to do Super Totsugeki 64 before I have to dip. So we can talk. So yeah, here's the thing about Chrono Cross. And I'm going to say this as someone who initially was like, they pop you outside of later on to remind you that you ain't. Yeah, right. You're right. But yeah, so this music is a little bit depressing for like just a conversation that we're gonna have to kind of close this out. So like for Chrono Cross, right? And I'm going to say this as somebody who used to not like Chrono Cross until Killing Suit. No, not a one. I did not. Nuh-uh, did not do it. Not me. Never tried to take the Goo King to get the Goo King sword. Have not gone to go look after. Nah. Play through. Nah. I'm not prepared. I'm not prepared. I would have to min max out the wazoo or engage Billy Mitchell strats. Straight up. Straight up. I'm scared. I'm too scared. I don't want to do it. Nah. 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 You can shout in my DMs a whole bunch too. I'll just bear it with grace. Nah. I'm a coward who's ill at ease. I'm not. I'm not ready for them. I'm not. Like, I could try to cheese it with IRT Kaiser and see if I could make it work, but nah. Those men are scary. I do not want to go there. That is not the homework I want to do. So yeah, Raw Twisted is Raw Twisted is. I forget how I got the Kings. I know I did it live, but I've slept since then. Fair. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm not prepared for that. Like, I'm not like Goo King sword. The Goo King, like, getting like trying to fuck with the Goo King is I'm not trying to live that life. I'm not built like that. The container yard, yeah, they're not. I'm not about to go run up on the container yard and try to go throw hands. I'm not ready for that. I had to Billy Mitchell that straight out. I admit it. Billy Mitchell that. Just turn on infinite HP, infinite MP, IRT Kaiser, and mash. Because doing that legit as I am right now, nah, we're not ready for that. I did not min max enough for that. But yeah, Chrono Cross, before I forget. So here's my thing about Chrono Cross, right? I used to not like Chrono Cross that much, right? Because initially it was the thing that I sort of fell into where if you look at, I'll put it like this, right? Chrono Trigger, when you look at it, is really the kind of game that you get, or the kind of like anything that you get that's like a once in a lifetime kind of thing. All of those stars lining up together. Just think about it. You had Yasunori Mitsuda, Kira Toriyama. I can't remember the other person who's on Dream Team right now. My brain is absolutely fucking toasted. I can't remember. Lord forgive me. On the tip of my tongue, and it's not coming to me. Masato Kato was not necessary. That's who it was. It was Uematsu, right? Uematsu, Mitsuda, and Toriyama. And we lost one of them. Like, Akira Toriyama, may he rest. He's gone, right? But the team for Chrono Trigger, that is like a once in a lifetime sort of thing, right? Yeah, Dragon Quest, yeah, like Yuji Horii is like half of what carries that, but the other half is Akira Toriyama. Like, we've got Toyotaro, who understands, right, how to imitate that style, right? But the sense of whimsy is not necessarily the same. Like, there is something very different. There's something about some, like, Akira Toriyama, right? She understands play, how to be loose, how to be funny, right? Like, that is a thing that is a mark of his work. That is a thread that runs all through it, right? Like, speaking of weird, isn't the next Dragon Quest going to be more adult? Um, maybe. Kind of not sure. It's, how do I put it, right? In the same way that Hang on, DQ already said. I mean, yeah, but like the main thing that I'm getting at mostly is that while there are plenty of people who can, yeah, what they said and what they will do aren't exact. Yeah, right. Like that's the thing, right? Like materially, the work is going to be different. Materially, the work is going to be different. Like that's just kind of like the way that it is. That's why I was saying earlier, Toyotaro can draw like Akira Toriyama, but Toyotaro does not have the same life experiences as Akira Toriyama. He, like Akira Toriyama, had a very particular way of marrying very like relatively loose and lighthearted things with some very serious and very poignant kind of moments, right? And this is not saying, oh, nobody can do it. Well, I guess in a way it is saying that nobody can do it like Akira Toriyama can do it. It doesn't mean necessarily that like, oh, wow, like Dragon Ball is going to go to shit without him and XYZ. But it's going to be different. It's going to be different. Dragon Quest is going to be different. It will be, right? People will. Same company that's still pissy they don't have full control over Parasite Eve. So might as well make an NFT game and pray. Yeah. Right? There is a lot of like like to go back to the other conversation earlier, right? I'm gonna say Creative Business Unit 3 because I don't want to just heap all the praise on Naoki Yoshida because there are some things that we're not talking about, some of the things that happened around how he talked about Final Fantasy 16. We all know that. We're not getting into that. So I'm gonna say Creative Business Unit 3 as a whole. As a whole, CBU 3 has done some wonderful things with Final Fantasy 14 now that they have had the time to get their feet under them. But the general understanding of what I have about how CBU 3 runs is that they more or less get to do whatever the fuck they want. Because there is a not insignificant chance that Final Fantasy 14 is one of those things that is literally carrying a bunch of weight for Square Enix aside from FF7R series. Straight up. Like, I cannot emphasize that enough. Like, but I'd say all that to say that because of that, right? Whatever other parts of Square Enix do when they look upon the other properties that they have, it's a big question mark, right? And so, yeah, like, right, the main point that I was trying to get to, because I want to actually say the thing I wanted to say about Chrono Cross, because this is all related to that. Yasunori Mitsuda, like, I don't think Masato Kato came back to write for Chrono Cross, right? So Chrono Cross is just different. And that's the thing that I didn't understand when I played it initially, and I learned, oh yeah, to follow up the Chrono Trigger. And if anything, I played Chrono Cross before I played Chrono Trigger, I think. Something like that. I might have played Cross before I played Trigger because I never played Trigger on Super Nintendo. And I love Chrono Trigger. It's a really, 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 really good RPG. It just is. Chrono Cross is not bad. Chrono Cross is just different. Its systems are different. It has given up some of the sort of like tighter weave of Chrono Trigger's story for something a little more expansive because Masato Kato really wanted to like sort of right. Masato Kato really wanted to like go in a little bit of a different direction, right? With things that he was exploring as like scenario writer and Trigger, right? And I think that especially because here's the other thing I think to consider also. Keep in mind that before Chrono Cross came out, we had Radical Dreamers, right? So if anything, and Radical Dreamers is in some aspects, if you play that, it is a little more intertwined in a more direct way. Not that Chrono Cross isn't, but Radical Dreamers is a little more on the nose about where its intended connections to Chrono Trigger were. And Not that Radical Dreamers is bad, but my understanding is that Masato Kato, after doing Radical Dreamers, was like, it wasn't quite hitting the way I wanted. And so we got Chrono Cross. And I think that it's important to sort of like realize that Chrono Cross is as much a reimagining of Radical Dreamers as it is a spiritual successor to Chrono Trigger thematically in certain aspects, right? And you have to square that away, haha puns, or you set yourself up for disappointment. I'm not surprised they haven't given CT the all system re-release like Cross did, at least put it on NSO or something. It wouldn't surprise me if it's like either a rights thing or something else, but on the other hand, they should be able to. My other suspicion, Sasha, I joked about this with Twisted a couple times. My other suspicion is that basically now that the Final Fantasy VII remakes are out and rolling, in the same way that Square Enix held that in the pocket until they were ready to start making bank, I would put 1 to 100 that they are holding on to an HD 2D Chrono Trigger for just the right time. It might be a little trickier now that, Akira Toyama has passed on, and they may have to negotiate some of that with the estate, maybe. I don't know. Could be wrong. I don't know anything about it. But my suspicion is that they are holding an HD 2D Chrono Trigger, like right here, for when they really, really, really need to make bank, and they're going to drop that shit and have people flip every single pan and go grab that. Bet you. Bet. Agreed. I think that CC does some weird stuff at times, especially to not tells the story, but yeah, right? And that's the thing. Like, my main line of thought primarily, now that I am older and that I am not so much up my own ass about it, is that Chrono Cross is really, there are things that I could nitpick about the way Chrono Cross works that I don't like, but it is more fair to look at those from a system perspective than it is like a story and gameplay perspective, a story perspective, sort of. There are certain plot points that I wish they could have tied up a little more neatly. Chrono Cross is still a turn-based JRPG. Sorry, it's still a turn-based RPG, but the magic system in that game is a little bit more finicky. Implies that it doesn't work correctly, which is not the case. The magic system in Chrono Cross requires a little more time to get used to. They went with a very specific sort of, I don't know how to describe it, but the simple way to put it is that you have to do a lot more planning of how you set up and use your magic, because there are generally limits to how much of certain types of magic you can use in a fight. If once you get a feeling for how it works, you can work your way around it, but it takes a little bit of getting used to. I don't know if I would say it's as aggravating as Tales of Zestiria, but it takes a little bit of work to get used to. Once you understand how it works, and once you understand that you can't just kind of like throw all of your magic at things all at once and you have to plan a little bit, you can kind of make it work. There are certain aspects of it that are still really fucking aggravating, but I get that they were trying to do something different. And that's, I think, all I can say without like poisoning opinions in a way that wouldn't be fair to that game, I think is the way that I can put it. Still have to put out the HD 2D Dragon Quest 1 through. Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, I guess since we're talking about Tales games, right? It is also a thing. So to go back to my original point about Chrono Cross, I know I said it, but I kind of want to emphasize it because Kettle bringing it up also reminded me that the Tales franchise has also lost one of its major like key artist people. So Kosuke Fujishima doesn't do it anymore. Like, he doesn't do character design for He doesn't do character design for the Tales series anymore. But for certain Tales of titles, there was a lady by the name of Mutsumi Inomata who was responsible for a lot of that. If you look at Tales of Destiny 2, most recently, Tales of Berseria, that's all her work, right? We lost her too. And I say that not to like bring down the mood of the stream, but just sort of like go back to the original point of what I was saying is that games are reflections of the people who made them, right? And I guess I'm saying that to sort of just say that I feel like with Breath of Fire 3 especially, you really feel that a lot because I think that when the team, for all that Breath of Fire 3's development process was incredibly topsy-turvy, right? At least from what little I've been able to glean and I understand. I feel like, and this is the important thing that I think is sort of essential to games. It's like a game designer, right? You may not figure out what the game has to say immediately when you're making it, right? But I feel like, and this is the thing that I think is important, and this is why, yeah, to Keto's point, this is like the last point I have to make before I start getting ready to get over to get over to the thing I wanted to go do. TLDR of what I'm trying to say here. That Breath of Fire 1, right, was not very risky as an RPG goes, right? Like Breath of Fire 1, you play that game, it is very bog standard JRPG. It's very bog standard RPG for that time. Breath of Fire 2, right? The reason why, even as rough as it is to play Breath of Fire 2, translation wise or whatever, Breath of Fire 2 is very specific about being more willing to directly sort of surface the thing they want to talk about, right? Breath of Fire 2 is a discussion about faith and loneliness and the way that like people can be manipulated into following a falsehood and a false belief out of a mistaken idea that they're doing the correct thing, right? What does it mean to struggle with one's fate and destiny and all that other stuff, right? Breath of Fire 2 talks about those things in a way that is much less surface level than like Breath of Fire 1 does. And Breath of Fire 3 goes even further and kind of like is very explicit about saying this game is about, and implicit also, this game is about power systems, power structures, and what you do with power and what people do with power, right? And it's one of those things where you don't get to see that through line very clearly unless you've played the first two games to sort of see, okay, no, this is right around the time where they found their voice. That's the way I want to put it. Breath of Fire 3 is where I think the series found its voice. And 4 and 5 try to phrase that differently. 2 is where it found its voice. 3, I think, is like the clearest expression of how it thinks. And then 4 tries to keep that momentum, and so does Dragon Quarter. And whether or not they succeed is a little wibbly wobbly. It depends on you. But I feel like 3 in particular is, yeah. 3 in particular, I think, is really, really, really good about that. Xillia 1 is great. Xillia 2 is great. Zestiria peaked. Berseria peaked. Arise, meh. I like Arise. There are certain... I feel like the Tales series, as far as like Arise goes, I feel like Arise is them sort of like figuring out a new sort of niche for themselves. Just because the main thing about Berseria, when I think about it, is mostly that the complexity of input schemes and systems and things like that. I think about that, and I think about how Arise approach things, and I'm like, I think I get what they were going for. That's my line of thought. And honestly, I haven't played the Zillia games, so I have no opinions either which way. I think that by and large, right, games are valid, right? If you don't like what you don't like, it's cool. But I am not here to yuck anybody's yum unless it's stuff like Heavy Rain or some shit. Arise just wouldn't stop. It's ending. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. I want that in my Tales games do that all the time though. Like that's like I'm not saying that to be a pill, but also like Tales games absolutely do the act Tales games are super good at doing like the act one fake out. They do that all the time. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to start a fight, but the Tales games do that kind of shit all the time. Saying plenty of times where you're like, okay, no, it's good, but I can literally name a spot in Tales of Fantasia where you get juked, at least once. Absolutely, that is not a new thing. Tailskin's been doing that for a while. But anyway, we got to get going. TLDR streams this week. Wednesday, more game dev stream stuff with Shoot Lancer, 6 p.m. Eastern time. Please come by for that. I didn't try Rise because of the slavery worry. I'll put it like this: they handled it a lot better than Final Fantasy 16 could have. I'm just saying. They get the dynamics mostly right in that game, and I'll leave it at that. Still your decision one way or the other. TLDR, support stuff. Right. Co-host. I do game design articles and stuff over there. Legend of Dragoon retrospective will go up at some point. Past posts, including a retrospective that I wrote about Breath of Fire 3 a couple years ago before I finished it myself for the first time, which is this stream. Lol. You can go read that over there if you want to see some of the things I was talking about, like about how Breath of Fire 3 is about power, blah, blah, blah. It's over on my Medium instead of the co-host. Streambods, youtube.com/SJHSgames, /@SJHSgames. That's that's where all the Breath of Fire stuff will live. I'm gonna update the playlist for Breath of Fire 3 soonish. So I should have all the things in there. I'm doing a rent and support drive for me myself because I'm still trying to get my hands on a goddamn job. And anything that you contribute to my Ko-Fi goes to this thing, and it helps make sure that I can maybe get like one more month out before I have to start hitting my contingency plans and stuff. So yeah, you can feel free to either spread the link or support directly. Either way, I'm cool with either. My card has all my other social media links. Theme plans this week. I forgot about the giveaway for Under Night 2, so we're going to do that on Friday. 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, is game dev stream stuff. Doing more Shoot Lancer. You should come by and see it. The game looks really pretty now. It's really, really good. We are going to be doing our last bit of tightening up for a prototype that we can put out on itch so people can play it and like get it in their hands and go like, ooh, this is pretty shiny. That's the plan. Thank y'all for coming by. Deeply appreciate it. We're going to go hang out with somebody. Let me go figure out who and hope that I didn't miss. I want to come and do. All right. All right. Backside is updated, so let me just make sure that we are dropped off somewhere. The game content warning. We want to go to. I feel like we need some chill-ish. Anka and Adrian are both on, but they're both cool down. We're gonna go hang out with Fairbear. Currently playing Baldur's Gate 3. We're just gonna pass on the RPG love. So, until next time I see y'all, whenever that is, take care. Yeah? Stay safe, watch your hands, wear masks, don't go outside if you don't have to. Be excellent to each other. We're not the biggest resistance. Anti-queer folks. Or Zionists. This is your reminder that Palestine must be free. Trans rights are human rights. And the Congo must also be free. That's pretty much all I have to say. Until next time I see y'all, whenever that is. Take care. Thanks for coming by to stream. We'll probably start Breath of Fire 4 next Sunday. I may cut a little bit of Totsuki 64 in to start off because I've been meaning to get it done. So that's the plan. Alright, y'all. Hit fair with an SGH says raids. I don't know who sent you all that other stuff. Thanks, y'all. I'll see you Wednesday, Friday, or Sunday, or whenever. Take care. Bye. 5, 4.